What's up, investors? It's the Russian dude. Let's immediately talk about the most recent PMI index report, which signals that potentially we might see a relatively big correction or even an entire recession in the very near future. So yeah, the most recent PMI reading came at 48.8, and any single number below 50 shows that there is a significant slowdown in the economic activity of the country. The way this PMI index is calculated in very basic understanding is that the supply chain managers of 400 main companies from 19 different primary industries, they are issued a survey, which is basically asking how are you performing, how are you feeling, what are you doing right now. And long story short, if once again PMI is below 50, it basically means that there is not that many orders, there is not that much fulfillment, there is not that much raw materials, you name it. Basically, once again, that the economic activity is slower than the previous quarter, previous reporting period. And as you can see from this interesting graph, which started all the way from the beginning of 2000s, as soon as PMI indicator was reaching below 50, and if it stayed there until the next reporting period, this inevitably was leading to a recession. The most notable ones were in 2000 during dot-com crash bubble, in 2008 great financial crisis, and obviously pandemic of 2020. Right now the PMI just fell below 50, so it will be crucial to see what's going to be the next reading, because once again, if it stays below 50, then we might have a problem. And to enhance the potential problems, right here is the VIX graph, which shows the seasonal volatility. Right now we are in the red part of the graph, and historically, which is represented by gray lines, it is showing that right now we're just in the very beginning of most likely potential increase in volatility, literally right around the corner, potentially within the next few weeks or months. And taking into consideration this information and everything we've been talking about in my previous videos, guys, I honestly think we are just one bad news away from major events on the stock market. Because let's be honest, the correction, at least maybe a healthy one, is long overdue, and the longer we wait, the more significant the outcome will be. Just think about this as a slingshot. The further away you pull the stone and then you release it, the more painful will be the impact. And such bad news, as some of you already can guess, can be the announcement by the Federal Reserve that there will be no interest rate cuts in this year. Unlike 81% of market participants, they do expect that there will be at least one or maybe even two rate cuts by the end of 2024. So you can only imagine the disappointment of this vast majority if Jerome Powell one time goes out and says, well guys, no cuts in 2024. This is exactly the moment when people will start asking questions, when investors will try to see their portfolios and how do they perform. And whenever they see that in the near future there will be no good news, some of them will try to start locking in some profits by selling their positions. This will cause at least a neutral performance of the S&P 500 index, or maybe it will already start going down, triggering even more investors to liquidate their holdings. And this effect will be multiplied because of an increased volatility. Just remember this graph I showed you literally a minute ago or so. We are right around the corner where volatility should skyrocket. Because of this, instead of a healthy correction of 10% or more, we might see anything close to 20%. And if we also do see that economic activity, the GDP, the economic growth slows down 2 consecutive quarters in a row, well, in this case, this is a textbook example of a recession. Well, there you have it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. This was interesting, informative for both, and see you on Monday.